Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. We have a new project. No, I'm just kidding. This is the S14, right? The one that we just showed in the videos, like a month ago, 2 months ago. This is the S14 95 that I've had for a while. You see it still has the slicks and stuff on it. This was the car that I was going to drag race. So why is everything back apart? Am I just doing a motor swap? No, the motor is still the same. It's still the LS48 that I had, the turbo stage 2 cam. But what we're doing is I had so much fun at that drift event. I keep talking about it, and now I got the Skyline running, and I want to take it to the drift event, but that motor is so expensive that I just don't have the money to maintain that car. I'm just gonna leave it alone, stock, and I'm gonna go drift this car because these motors are more easy. They're easier to find, they're cheaper to maintain, you can get more parts from them, they're readily available compared to the RB25. This is an automatic S14 we talked about that we had the powerglide in it. You can see there is no master cylinder there. There's no cuts, there's no holes there. This is a stock, or this was an automatic from the factory. So what I did, is I took the motor and transmission out, right there. There's the powerglide, there's the flex plate, there's the cooler for the automatic transmission. And what we did, let me find my flashlight for the big reveal. Ta-da! We mounted a T56 to the LS48, put it in the car, using the ISR swap kit, right there, same one that we've had. Put the motor on, put the transmission mount in it, drop the drive shaft, and now we're converting this car over from an automatic to a manual T56. Let me show you inside. If you're wondering, can you really swap an S13 or S14 from an automatic to a manual? Let me show you something. You see that up there? You know, a light situated perfectly right there. See that? That is showing you that firewall, I did not cut that. That is straight from the factory. That was already cut out right there. And you see those two holes right there, 1 and 2. That means that you can mount a manual clutch pedal in here without having to cut this. All you have to do is drill those two holes. Well, I guess you have to do a third one too, right? For the master cylinder, I keep forgetting that. You have to do the 2 bolt holes. You have to do one right in the middle to put your master cylinder through, right? To mount your clutch pedal. You can also see here, see that big brake pedal? That is an automatic brake pedal because the clutch pedal will sit right here. Oh, sorry, let me get my light turned back on. Right here. The clutch pedal is going to sit about here. It's going to be too close to the brake pedal. Usually in a manual setup, you'll have a smaller brake pedal, and I'll go show you that here right now. So showing you guys, this is an automatic from the factory. I did not touch this. This is all it was, factory. And we're getting ready to change it over to a manual. See, isn't that so cool right there? T56, I cannot wait. And we're gonna put our hydro brake in here a little bit later. But right now we just gotta get the car swapped over, right? Lots of work, but that's what you guys tune in this channel, right? You wanna see, can you do the things that you're thinking of? Well, yes, if you're thinking that you can swap an S14 from automatic to manual, you're gonna find out here. And I'm gonna show you 100% that you can. Ready? Right here, S13, clutch pedal. There are the 2 bolts. The 2 holes right there you have to drill, right? For the bolts, or for the mounting bolts, right? You have to do one in the center for the master cylinder, right? Here's the stock master cylinder. I don't like using these. Everyone says that they won't be able to push out the clutch in the LS motor. I'm not gonna try it. We're just gonna use an aftermarket one that we use in the S13. We know that works, right? Okay, here's the brake pedal. So we had to mount that one too. So as I'm getting that stuff mounted, I will. And I'm gonna show you guys this. Here is a slave cylinder that goes in the transmission. So how do you get this, start getting set up to do a manual swap? Well, you get your motor, you get the transmission, right? You put the motor on you put the flywheel on, you put the clutch on, which I didn't record that. You guys can see that on other channels if you want. If you really want me to record that, you can leave a comment and I'll do it next time, but I have no intention of changing the clutch out that quickly. But anyway, here's the slave cylinder, right? What you gotta do is there's a pin right there. You use a punch, you punch it out. And when you punch it out, it looks like this. This is the one that came with my new kit and the new slave cylinder, but I'm not gonna use it. Instead, what you do is you punch that out, you take this out, that's your bleeder right there. So if you get a speed bleeder, it goes in right there too, which we're not gonna use on this card. But you punch that out, you take this out, then you go and get this part number right here, okay? Russell, part number 640281. And what it is, flip it over to show you. It's a clutch fitting with quad rings. It's a 3AN male flare. Okay, and then there's your spacer, and there's your Wilwood master cylinder right there. Part number 260-15098. I know it says brakes, don't worry about that. Okay, so you get those right there. You punch that out. You put that fitting in the slave cylinder, okay, into that guy. Then, well, obviously, I guess what you should say is put the flex plate on, the clutch on, you put the master cylinder and the transmission, put the transmission to the motor, right? Then you run yourself, right here, this is a AN3 line, right there, to the slave cylinder in there, and I have the bleeder open, so that way once I hook up the master cylinder and I get the holes drilled, I can pump it up, I can bleed it, so that way we'll have pressure right on the clutch when we get ready to drive the car the next couple days, okay? So you do all that, you put the fitting on, mount it, put the master cylinder there, mount this to the master cylinder, right? Because it also has, I forgot to show you that, the AN3 line, which I'll link that to. So when you order this kit, or when you order this master cylinder, it has this fitting automatically right here from the factory, and then you order this one, it's the AN3 that goes in there. Now, I'm gonna make sure you guys get the right one, because especially when it's metric or American, either one. When it's especially metric, a lot of metric works on the Hondas and Nissans, is that this thread could be different, right? It could be a 1.0, a 1.25, a 1.5, and if you get the wrong one, now you just wasted time, right? So now we have the parts in. You can see that we're changing it over to a manual. We have the motor and transmission in. I'm gonna go back one last time in front of the car. We get the turbo kit. We're gonna put the turbo kit on here. We're gonna make sure the spring pressures and the waste gates are good. I think we're gonna run about 7 to 10 pounds. We're gonna see how the car reacts the next couple of days, but that's what we're doing. So stay tuned. Thank you all for already subscribing and watching the channel, and let's get this done. All right, welcome back everyone. I wanted to give this update on what happens when you're changing out the automatic brake pedal, and because there's no clutch pedal. As you can see, I almost got mine in right now, and I was fighting with it because I was trying to find videos on like how to actually get in there to get the brake pedal out, the automatic one. And I'm trying to get you in there because you can see like there's the bracket back there where my fingers point out with all these bolts back there. You have to take let me back up. That's the bracket back there. There's the 4 bolts, right? There's 4 bolts and there's one up there in the top. You see it right there. Okay, right there, center of my screen. Right there. So I was looking at videos on how to do this, and there are videos on others doing it in the S13 and the S14 S13. I don't think there's that much difference, right? And that's what the first video was saying, that most cars are made exactly the same, right? Whether automatic or manual. And you see I got the manual clutch pedal being fitted up there. I drilled the holes, right? Yeah, it's manual. I drilled the holes, but now I gotta do the one for the brake booster before I install it. But I want to take this quick break real quick because I want to show you guys something that you can see. I have the whole dash apart. The dash was not apart from the video before, and it just makes it a lot easier if you just drop all this down, right? So you need to take out, you drop the steering column, right? And there's this little metal bracket right here, right there, my finger's on, those 2 bolts in it, that goes right here below the steering column. You need to remove that first, right? And then there's 2 bolts that goes one here, one there, to drop the steering column down itself, okay? You need to remove that stuff. Then you need to move the cluster. There's a bolt right here, and there's a bolt right there, okay? That'll get you like the little plastic thing. You just have to pry it out. It goes right here. Sorry, I was pointing, but I didn't have the camera on it. There's this little plastic bevel, which, you guys give me a second, I'll grab it real quick. Show you exactly what I'm talking about, right? So this thing that goes in there, right? This just snaps out, right? Just take a little screwdriver or a, like the tools used for like stereos or like whatever, used inside car stereos and stuff like that. You just pop this out, right? After you take those 2 screws out, right? You get that out of the way. Sorry, I'm trying to take you guys with me because it's kind of crammed in here right now. And then once you get that out, right, you're sitting pretty good. But what that allows you to do is that here's the harness wiring, right, to the stock cluster right here, which we're not going to use that, right, because our LS swapped and I don't know how to make this work yet. So we might just leave that off right now for this drift event. But that'll get you the cluster out, right? Now, there's one more problem, right? It looks pretty open there, right? And it is open now, but there was one more thing you have to take out, and it's your air duct, right? If your car has it, and I'm gonna show you right now, I'm already showing you the secret. See those little tabs right there? There's one there, and there's one on the other side. Those bolt up in here. And if you try pulling it out, because I'm trying to save as many pieces as I can, right? All these air ducts and everything, because what if I do want to run AC in this car later at some point, or if I sell it, what if someone wants to use it, right? So I'm trying to keep all the parts original as I can, all right? So the first thing you need to do to get to this thing is on the side of right here. If yours has it, it'll have this vent, right? It goes just like that, right? Take a screwdriver or just pry it out gently. Okay, that comes out. And then what you have to do is when the air duct is sitting here, right, you can't see that bolt right there. See that? I don't know if you guys put it. That right there holds the air duct in. And in other videos, they weren't showing this, so I'm showing you guys because I want to give you guys as much detail as I can. That all you have to do is just kind of like take a 10 millimeter from inside, go over this flap right here. And what I used is I couldn't get my quarter with a 3/8 drive in it. So what I use my little 1/4" drive, right, with a 10 millimeter on it. I got that bolt out, okay? So once you get that one out, there's also one hiding right back there. That one right there. Okay, let me get my flashlight. Okay, can you see it now? Down right there, right in the center of the screen. Where that hole is right there. There's another 10 millimeter bolt that goes in there, and that's what holds the air duct in, okay? Now, once you get that out, you drop the steering column, it makes it so much easier to get that brake pedal out. Because if you see the bracket, right? Here's the brake, here's the one I just took out, right, from the automatic, right? Brake pedal. You can see that this all right here will hit the air duct. So if you're trying to take this brake pedal out and you don't have the air duct, all this right here, this section right here is gonna hit it. Now I already took my sensor out, so you're wondering where it went, don't worry about that. It's in my new brake pedal. But all this will hit the sensor, right? Because it's mounted in the car like that. And you're trying to pull it out, the air duct will be hitting right here. So I just wanted to make that a quick little short clip on this while I'm putting everything back together now, or as I'm finishing up. I just want to give you guys a little tidbit. I didn't see any other videos. I went on YouTube naturally and try to find it. I did remove my airbag out of the steering column, right? Because we're gonna be drifting, so we don't want the airbag going off. There's a good video, I forgot his name, but you basically take this cover off right here, the screwdriver. There'll be a T55 is what he said. I couldn't get in there with a drill like what he did, so it's this guy right here. See, has that little notch right there in the middle. You can see that I already broke a couple of my drill bits trying to drill that out. You can go get one if you want, but just trying to do stuff without having to go buy more and more tools, right? You can see it's all scarred up on the edge. What I did is I just took a pair of vice grips, because it goes in just like that, right? Now very gently, I had the steering wheel unlocked, right? I have my key in right now with no power going to the car right now. I just took my vice grips and I just grabbed on as tight as I could, and I just turned it a little bit at a time, right? Until I could finally get this out, which got the airbag out. So another little tidbit for you guys too. On the other side, it's a little bit tighter. Let me turn the wheel too. So you have this cover right here. Cool, I got off without breaking it 2 times in a row. There'd be that one right there, right? It's a lot tighter fit, right? So you're like, how do you get vice grips in there? Take these 2 little Phillip head bolts out, okay? Take those out. This will unclip, right? It just clips right in here. You take your vice grips and you do the same thing. But this time what I did is, because the vice grips were too thick to get in there sideways, is I just literally put them in straight in. It's kind of hard to do this in the camera and do it, right? I put them straight in, and I just use my strength, and I started turning it, right? And just turn until you get it loose, and then you take it out, right? So those that are trying to change out your steering wheel and stuff like that, I'm sure there's other videos on it, but because but people are watching my channel and stuff like that. Got back on that braking, that's awesome. Turn the steering wheel back over. But that's just how you get your airbags out too, if you guys are also doing exactly what I'm doing. So okay, so just put these covers back on, make it look nice and neat, and then we're gonna button everything up. I also removed the turn signal, which goes, let's see right here, right? So in this area, I was under, right? I was on my back. I was upside down trying to get those bolts out right and try to fit the clutch and the brake pedal and everything like there. And my turn signal was sticking out right here. I didn't want to break it because in my car, it is a drift car, but I'm trying to use like all the turn signals and key switch and everything. Everything pretty much runs off the power, which I need to do another video about that, show you guys how to relocate that to the trunk. But that'll be for another day. I took my turn signal off, so that way when you're upside down working here, you don't break your turn signal, because I think those are about $200 to $300 brand new, and mine works, so I didn't want to break that. So just another tidbit too is just little two little bolts that hold it in. One goes right there, and one goes right there. Little Phillips head screwdriver. Take those out, unplug it. So that way, if you're working the steering column out of the way, you're trying to do everything we're doing right here in the car, that way you don't break your turn signal and be out a couple $100, okay? So I got like these ECUs right here. I think this is AC control. I need to look on my diagram to find out behind the dash what I can remove, the things I won't be using right now. But I don't want to cut all the wires or everything. Like I said, you can tell I use the stock harness to power everything in the car, including this wire right here. This is the hot wire. That way you turn the key switch, it actually goes over there to the other side to power the ECU and stuff over there. But we'll do that another day. But I want to give you guys that little part of information that if you're trying to do what I'm doing, swap the brake pedal and swap the clutch, there you go, right? It's easier just to drop all the stuff down. It doesn't take that long, okay? It takes like probably 10-15 minutes to get all the stuff out, get the steering column down, get those bolts out, get the brakes out, to get the brake pedal out. It doesn't take that long at all. It's better to do that than being upside down and fighting with these wires and cutting something or hitting a relay you don't need to hit, okay? All right, we'll be back in a little bit when this is all put back together.